lights go off and we are racing here in Dubai, and a fantastic start by the Lamborghini, pushed all the way to the pit wall as he goes out. In fact, two Lamborghinis coming down the inside. There will be a battle between Ferrari and Lamborghini. The pole sitter can't get to the inside as they go around turn number one. He was eased out. What a fantastic start.
Hello everybody and welcome along to our review of the 7th edition of the Dunlop Dubai 24 Hours with over 70 competitors in the pit lane. The welcome barbecue was always going to be an exciting affair. Dubai, part of the United Arab Emirates, a city and indeed a state of contrasts, with the Dubai Autodrome being once again the scene of international sporting excellence. In the early parts of practice, in the early part of the week, weather never a problem out here of course, all of the international teams getting together with over 20 brands on the grid and 39 nations represented. This was where last year Mercedes-Benz debuted the Mercedes SLS, and it was good to see the GT3 cars here aplenty, with almost 30 full house GT3 cars taking part in the top class of competition. The new Ferrari 458 GT3 was here as well, international as well as local teams. This the AUH Corsa car, based literally at the circuit. Of course, it wouldn't be an endurance race without the redoubtable name of Porsche and the 911, and as well as being represented in the top class, there was also a 997 class for cup cars, meaning we had plenty of the German brands on the track. Lamborghini were back, again a local team, the Gulf coloured and Gulf team cars representing the region well. Last year's winning cars were back too, in a different colour scheme. Schubert racing again with the Z4 Coupes from BMW, but this year Saudi Falcons were the team providing the driving talent. Despite the change of livery and change of some of the driving personnel, still wearing proudly the number 1 to denote last year's champions.
Well, I won already a few 24-hour races, twice at Nürburgring. I finished second in Le Mans, so I've got experience in long-distance races. But on that circuit, the biggest thing is really the traffic. There's more than 70 cars on the circuit, also a few very slow ones. So you really have to look that you get through traffic without losing a lot of time.
Nissan were well represented. This, the new JRM developed GT3 GTR, bit of a mouthful there. Remember JRM, the team that won the GT1 World Championship, and they had a team full of champions, but also two 370Zs, the 120 and the 100 car. The 100 car notable for the fact that it was staffed by winners of the GT Academy, all former gaming champions. Darkness practice always a important time for the drivers to get used to the circuits when it looks very different, and all of the teams took the opportunity to get out on track. Friday and race day here at Dubai. Nick Damon on the grid for his grid walk, sampling the atmosphere and talking to some of the drivers like Mike Wainwright of the Gulf Lamborghini team.
Stop Mike Wainwright texting and let's make him work for his money. Here you are in the glider, slightly behind your manufacturer, the Ryder car. I mean, is that tactical or is he just quicker?
Who knows? Who knows? Tactics or not, I think the starting lineup for the grid's a bit odd in that sense. I think a lot of the cars can go a lot faster, but it's the race. Let's see what happens. Depends what the penalties will do with the cars. I think some cars suffer with the weight, some won't.
Well, plenty of professional efforts on the grid, but let's not forget the gentleman drivers too, who are here to have fun and maybe cause a little bit of upset. Here's the man behind it all, Gary Willems.
Jerry Williams, Jerry, who is the organiser of the event. Jerry, your feelings as the 7th Dubai Classic is about to take place?
Yes, it's incredible. If you look now at it, this is actually my moment, which is actually for me, I really enjoyed it. Look at the people, look at the teams. Yeah, it's an exciting moment, and we're going to start in a few minutes.
2 warm-up laps for the 70-plus grid, and whether you're a gentleman driver, of which there are plenty here enjoying the early season sunshine, or a seasoned professional, the green flag always has a little bit of excitement, a bit of butterflies. Here's how they're lined up with the 2 Ferraris on the front row, followed by the debuting GRM Nissan GT3 GTR. Then another new car, the Audi R8 GT3 Le Mans for United Autosports. Big names all the way through the grid, and class pole sitters mixed in with that almost 30 GT3 entries. And as we look through the middle and towards the back of the grid, the eclectic nature of the Dunlop Dubai 24 clear to see, not just in the team names, but also in the manufacturers that are represented. And so to the start of the race, and the 2 bright red Ferraris from AUH and AF Corsa lead the field expectantly down to the starting flag. But Peter Cox in the 25 Lamborghinis had other ideas, made his move towards the pit wall side of the track, and Rob Barth in the pole sitting car couldn't hold him off at turn number 1. Michael Crum in the black Nissan from row 2 also looking very, very determined in the early stages. On board the 21 Porsche, the battles in the midfield, always entertaining, and it's not the invisible man changing gear, he's got paddle shift. So Peter Cox would have the honour of leading the first lap of the 2012 Dunlop 24 Hours of Dubai. The prancing horses trailing the raging bull, but battling among themselves for second and third. Rob Barth and Matt Griffin, the 2 starting drivers. Michael Crum pushed down into 5th position in the debuting Nissan. The 2 United Autosports Audis almost getting together. No team orders there clearly, and none between the 2 Ferraris either. Very much a competitive battle here as Matt Griffin began to hassle around the rear wing of Rob Barth. one of the more unusual cars in the race, the Saka GT, looking very much like a mid-80s Group C2 car. And the battle for second, well, it wouldn't cool down. Remember, these were the early knockings of a 24-hour race as Michael Crum went into 4th place. The Saka would begin the first of a number of pit stops in the first hours. The fast start from Peter Cox had got him away from the 2 Ferraris, but that couldn't last very long. As first Rob Barth and then Matt Griffin pushed the Lamborghini back down through the order. Matt Griffin trying very hard to get up into 2nd place. And remember, these are the leading 3 cars at the start of the event. Peter Cox briefly regaining the lead from the Ferrari. Surely the team managers somewhere were saying, remember guys, we've got a whole day and a night ahead of us. The VDS Mustang was certainly a fan favourite. And another V8 engine car, the ex-NASCAR, with lights of course, brought a bit of variety to the field. A slight mistake by Matt Griffin saw him spinning down all the way to 16th and then began the fight back. The Audi R8, the AAA car, Jordan's .NL team, derived from a road car, not the same as the United Autosports machines, which were purpose-built racing cars. So in the early running, it was the local Ferrari team and Rob Barth who led. All of the drivers very complimentary about the layout of the circuit, which provided good opportunities for overtaking, fast straights and technical corners. The brand new GRM developed Nissan with a carbon fibre fire, the exhaust catching on the bodywork. No such problems for the gamers. The GT Academy car, number 100, going very well, as explained by Lucas Ordonez.
It's a great story, no? GT Academy became a professional racing driver just from the PlayStation. All started nearly 4 years ago, and after 4 years I've done Le Mans 24 hours with a second finish and in the podium, also winning the ILMC championship with the LMP2. So we are proving that a gamer can be a professional racing driver thanks to Nissan and GT Academy. So everything good, and I'm working for the future.
Another car that was attracting considerable interest, the Racing Divas, an all-female driving lineup in their Renault Clio Cup car.
Yeah, but don't forget that 4 ladies had a championship in Holland. From the guys, so it's not a championship for the women, but a championship from the guys. So we are very quick. So don't think we are easy and lazy driving in the car.
Started from 14, and I think we got a different strategy than the cars in front of us. That means we are always between place 1 and 6 until now. But I think tomorrow morning we will see which strategy worked, and the main thing for us is to finish the race. And if we finish, I'm looking forward to be on the podium. It would be great.
The time of year and the latitude meant the twilight was short and the night would be long. After a quarter of the race, it was the Saudi Falcons by Schubert BMW that led the field, from the Heiko Motorsport Mercedes-Benz heading up a trio of similar machines. The now traditional fireworks heralding the entry into the full darkness hours. No time for the drivers to enjoy the fireworks as they were busy out on the circuit. The 3.5 mile full configuration providing excellent viewing and great competition. Pit stops and tactics, always important. Look how quickly the driver change is done with those gull wing doors. Fueling, turn right at the end of the pit lane. No fueling in the pits.
It's getting hard now because a lot of guys are not really knowing where they are going. So yeah, you have a lot of traffic and you really have to be careful. Yeah, I mean, generally it went well. We didn't have really problems on the car. You get a lot of pickup on the tires from all the rubber that all the cars lay down on the track. But other than that, it's going very well.
That's a very good point, because not only we've seen a few of the cars are suffering because the pickups going into the ducts and therefore they're getting temperature issues. Is that something you're having to look out for?
Well, I think our car is really good with that. You can scrub off the pickup pretty quickly if you push for 2 or 3 laps. So that's really good. That's going to help us from now on in the race a lot. But for sure, cars will get problems, like you said, with temperatures.
And as you can see from these onboard pictures, very dark on the far side of the circuit. The front stretch lit in some of the corners, but those extra lights on the Porsche really required. The Nissan Gamers still going round and round and picking up positions, beginning to threaten the top 3 in class. Dealing with traffic, always an issue from the very first lap to the very last. And some drivers having more patience than others. One of the leading lights, the number 2 Ferrari, with an incident and a broken suspension after contact with the 101 Viper. And of course, if you ask 2 racing drivers about an incident, there'll be 2 different opinions.
What happened?
I braked for the corner at the end of the straight and there was a big impact. The guy behind me braked too late.
Yeah, it did seem that. So had you already just passed him, or was he catching you?
No, I think he was behind me. I'm not sure who hit me. I just braked at the end of the straight and there was first a bang at the back and then a bang on the side. Don't know.
That's very bad luck so there for Jack and indeed the AF Corsa team, as you're saying up in the booth, guys. It's very likely this is taking away what could have been a really exciting outside chance comeback fight for the AF Corsa car. The fastest car allowed to go in the field we have, of course, because of qualifying, but now both the Ferraris are effectively out of the running for victory, which means we're not going to see a prancing horse victory, or we're not going to see an Italian victory. It's very, very likely we're now going to see a German victory. Will it be BMW or will it be Mercedes?
Nick Damon in the pits with AF Corsa, and with the demise really at the front of the field of both of those bright red machines, it was left open to the German marques, Mercedes-Benz and BMW. Tactics playing a huge part here in the Dunlop Dubai 24, because the teams were allowed to pick their own target time and therefore their own fuel allowance, minimum weight and ride height after practice. Only 10 times during the race were you allowed to break out of that bracket. Any more than that and penalties would be applied. This allows the gentleman drivers to compete on a more equal playing field with the full-time pros.
Was it the actual crash that caused the damage to the front left fender, or was it the burst tyre?
I think the damage caused from the crash caused the puncture. It didn't come on till 3 or 4 laps. It was bad handling, but then we came in after 3 or 4 laps. Looks like I kept it going for the next 20 laps, but it looks like it's a bit worse now.
Andy Ruan from the Viper team, that car going into a museum after this race, after a fantastic racing light, just reflecting on the problems he'd had with the AF Corsa car earlier. Through the night, of course, Porsches and Ginettas also having their problems, and all drivers having to keep their wits about them to avoid the guys who did have problems. More suspension damage on the right rear, but a shortcut taken back to the pits and that car would be repaired.
Well, the problem is the gearbox at the moment. Second and third gear are gone. It was noisy a couple of laps. I came in 2 laps ago, they sent me out again, just ruin it, and then we put in a new one.
So you're going to do a quick gearbox change now, but what's the car like out there? Because it's completely different from anything else, isn't it?
Well, on the straight, it's almost the fastest car around here, but we have problems in the corner because of the tires. And we didn't want to put on tougher tires because the rest of the car wouldn't make it. But now we still have a gearbox to replace.
The racing out on the circuit extremely competitive in the nighttime hours as the #1 Saudi Falcon car was fighting its way back through the field. No quarter asked or given by anyone. Traffic playing a part and opportunist overtaking manoeuvres abounding. The distinctive colour scheme on the Saudi Falcons cars, designed by Faisal bin Laden, one of the principals of the team, and long-time designer of car liveries, Andy Blackmore.
Battle in SP3, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really hard for the moment. We was on 7th position for 3 hours, and now we are on 2nd position, so it's a really great fight now, yeah.
Is the secret just keep on churning out the laps? Is it just hit your time and let everyone else fall by the wayside?
Yeah, you have to pay really attention, because we have many oversteering of our car. We have to wait, so if not, our tires are getting so warm that we have directly oversteering. So it's really to make attention now and yeah, just race.
halfway through the race. And the top positions, 1 to 9, dominated by German manufacturers and makes. Even Lamborghini, owned by Audi now, of course. But the gaps, well, not too big. In the classes, things are a little more spread out. But a great battle between Optimum Motorsport and Black Fulton, with GR Motorsport's BMW not too far behind, having moved up a category. Bezeplast's Mini had dominated, and the Renault Megane Trophy was having a great battle for the Las Moros Racing team with the big front-engine Ford Mustang of VDS Racing Adventures. In A5, the two BMWs separated by many laps. A fantastic effort by Dunlop for bringing all of the tyres to Dubai. 13 containers and 6,000 covers to make sure all the teams had the best racing opportunity. Equipe Verscher, the Racing Divas, into the pit lane, proving exotic machinery is not required for 24-hour racing.
Yeah, so far so good. We were in the lead quite at the beginning of the race in the second stint already, but then we dropped back. We had a little bit of a problem. We didn't get the code 60 right, so we lost a little bit. Then we got the lead again. Unfortunately, we got a 40-second penalty because of speeding in the pit lane, which is not so nice. But still we're in the lead, so everything works well. The car's pretty good. We can do consistent lap times, so but it's still, I mean, almost 12 hours to go, yeah.
No safety cars in this race. The code 60, where all competitors see a purple flag and slow down to 60 kilometers an hour. No overtaking, of course. It means you don't waste time in picking up the leader or getting him back to the start-finish line.
We are after pit.
But
it's no bad. It's no bad. It's good result for this time for us, and I think the 24 hours race start after 6 o'clock.
Okay. Racing at the head of any class always stressful, and the VDS Adventures team keeping that Mustang going despite a slight clutch problem. At the far end of the pit lane, the Saudi Falcons by Schubert team with the BMWs that won last year. Looking slightly different, wider and with a paddle shift gearbox for this year.
It's really tight, I think, and try to push as hard as I can, but with the traffic you can't risk it. And yeah, then I just saw the number 3 SLS in front of me. It overtook me, and then I just stayed behind him just to maintain the position and try not to take any risks and hit anybody. You know, in the dark there's some weird driving going on. I think it's going to come down to the last minute, to be honest, with the way it looks. I mean, I think yeah, we're only 3 or 2 laps difference between each other, and everyone's not really pushing 100%. You don't want any mistakes, you don't want any technical problems, and if you keep safe and you last till the end, I think you have a good chance to win.
Grab rest when you can get it. And prophetic words there, potentially. The Gulf Lamborghinis didn't have the best of it, and they were fighting problems in the pit box. Stuart Hall discussing tactics.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a nightmare, really. It's been a race that we really should have stayed in bed. I think Friday the 13th has caught up with us. We've just had a little issue. Mike got hit by someone and just touched the wall, so we had a tracking problem with the rear of the car. But we've had gearbox problem, we've had a fuel pressure problem, and we've been stuck in 6th gear as well. So I think we've spent more time in the garage than we have on track this race.
But as you saw, the never say die attitude so prevalent in endurance racing meant that car was pushed back out to do more laps. The guys were determined to prove the pace of the blue and Etruscan orange machines.
Das Tempo geht schon wesentlich höher wie im letzten Jahr. Wir sind im Durchschnitt ja im letzten Jahr irgendwo 7er Zeiten gefahren.
The man at the top of the defending champions team saying it has been much more competitive from last year, and they can't rest on their levels. And underlying that, the fact that the first 3 cars were still virtually in sight of each other.
Hours, 30 minutes to go. The first 3 cars are within 7 seconds, which is nothing. And yeah, it's a really tough fight going on here.
Plenty of BMWs in the production-based classes. 5 studs on those wheels to change means extra work for the mechanics. Three-quarter distance. Mercedes first, second and fourth. The defending champion Saudi Falcons by Schubert breaking up the Mercedes domination. Well, just as it gets dark quickly here at this time of year, so the sun rises and the light comes in. Well, not quite that quickly, but certainly quicker than we're used to in Europe. So we were back to full lightness, although another code 60 slowed the cars down to 60 kilometers an hour, but a good chance to take service as the pit lane speed is also 60 kilometers, meaning that it's actual time lost only by servicing the car. All of the leading cars doing at least one brake change through the 24 hours. The key to success here, being organised, having the parts in the right place, and keeping a cool head and hands. A near perfect pit stop by Saudi Falcons. Not plain sailing for other teams along the pit lane, including the long-time class-leading number 80 Mini, the Bezoplas car, spending rather too much time in the pit box. However, the repairs were made and the car was sent back into the race. The irony was, we ended up with the 2 team cars in different classes running together on the order, both sitting in second position in class. Difficult not to get excited at this stage.
To be honest, it's never been so good like now, but we have to go for more than 6 hours, so we have to knock on wood, but I'm very happy until now. Especially and his team, they are fantastic people, and I think it's amazing what they are doing. It's I think it's maybe one of the best 24-hour races that's going on. So it's beautiful what they have made.
Well, much of the infrastructure provided by the organising team, not least those 6,000 tyres brought over in 13 containers by Dunlop. Another code 60 with an incident at the start of the long straight. And this really an option that has revolutionised endurance racing for me. The opportunity for all the cars to hold station without a safety car being deployed. And once the incident is cleared, green flags are showed all the way around the circuit. It matters not where the leader is, which means we get back to racing quicker. And surely that has to be a system that other racers, other multi-class endurance racers in particular, must take seriously and perhaps take a look at. The lack of a safety car means we were able to get back to intense racing much quicker. The two Saudi Falcons team cars separated by a few laps, but battling through the hordes of Mercedes at the head of the field. Offline difficulties for many people, which cause problems. Very slippery with the sand and the rubber pickup. And for the 22 Tsunami sponsored Porsche, 3 wheels on his wagon. And many cars showing the scars of the overnight battles. Heiko Motorsports Mercedes-Benz were not one of them. German reliability and efficiency to the fore as far as the car was concerned, and indeed the Heiko team. The ease of access and egress through the gull-wing doors of the Mercedes-Benz clearly helping the driver changes in a positive way. Remember, no fueling done at the pits, so no requirement for fireproof overalls for the mechanics. Now on its 4th gearbox, the former NASCAR was back out on the circuit, and trust me, their mechanics know how to do up and undo gearbox bolts very well by this time of the morning. Some of the rubber debris offline on the start-finish straight. Not too much wind to blow that away here. One of the real success stories of the race, though, the RJN Motorsport Nissan 370Z.
But yeah, so far so good. The car's been running like clockwork today, and hopefully in an hour and quarter to go, we'll stay in 3rd.
Dust reducing the visibility in the car?
A little bit, but it's not bad. You can still see pretty clearly most of the time. Just want to say what a privilege it is to be part of the GT Academy and the first all-gamer driving team. It's been awesome so far. I just hope, fingers crossed that we'll land on the podium at the end of it.
...2011, the first year of the GT Academy in America, and Brian Highcotter, the recipient of the GT Academy scholarship, fighting his way through hundreds of thousands of entries to find himself racing at the Dunlop Dubai 24 Hours. As the morning wore on, the teams were just beginning to think of their final results, and anyone who had speed left was being encouraged to push on. Remember, the target times meant that if you'd fallen too far back, it would be difficult to catch up.
Oh yeah, a lot less stressful than the rest of the stints, that's for sure. We just, we're in full safe mode at the moment. We're short shifting everywhere, no curves, no point in taking risks in traffic, nothing. So we got a 2 or 3 lap lead, so there's no point to take any risk, just cruising around.
what Sean Edwards calls cruising and what you or I would call cruising, two entirely different things. The pressure was still being applied from behind. Teams tactically playing their jokers as they broke out of their lap times to try and gain ground on the leading cars and improve their positions either overall or in class. But remember, no joker laps allowed in the last 2 hours. Cruel look at the end of the race, with Rod Gota having a problem with the left rear and causing another issue for the Lamborghini. However, the code 60 that was required to recover that car would make things very interesting to the end, as Jörg Muller explained to Nick Damon.
I mean, it's I think 13 minutes to go and 13 seconds different to P3. So now we have to push, but we also have to take care that we don't go too quick. So it's going to be tough and very tight.
How does the driver make up time when he's not allowed to go too fast?
Yeah, as I said already before, you have to be as close as possible to your target time, which is very dangerous because as closer you get, as more dangerous it is to go just 100s quicker. And if you're 100s too quick, you have to do a stop and go or a drive-through penalty, and then the race is over.
So the battle for third place clearly still very much on, and the Saudi Falcons chasing as much as possible. Everybody watching the timing screens and the live television pictures. Even the experienced Jörg Muller unable to take his eyes off the screen. The tension, well, you could almost taste it. At the head of the field, the Mercedes-Benz continued to make progress. And as the minutes clicked down, it became obvious that the 7th running of the Dubai 24 would see the three-pointed star of Mercedes-Benz on the top step of the podium. Second place looking pretty secure as well, but what about that third? Well, the Saudi Falcons BMW was charging up to the back of the third place Mercedes-Benz, desperately trying to get back on terms. Edward Sandstrom trying everything he knew to carve his way through traffic, staying as close as he could to the target times. And whilst the TV cameras were rightly watching the leader railing off his last lap, it was getting very close for third. The checkered flag flies for Mercedes-Benz, and second place too for the German brand. But half a lap away from the end, Sandstrom tried a do-or-die manoeuvre on the anti-penultimate hairpin, spun the Saudi Falcons BMW and lost any chance of getting a place on the podium. That would mean that Mercedes-Benz performed the sweep in the overall standings. The Black Falcon team rightly ecstatic, and their BMW would take a class win further down the order.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it was such a tough race with the regulations, not being able to pull away if you could, if you had the pace. So it was very close, actually right until the end. So I'm really pleased with what we've done. The guys worked very hard, very good pit stops. The drivers made no mistakes, so it feels really good.
And you can tell us now, was the car completely healthy at the end?
Yeah, we had no problems at all. So a very strong car. It feels like a tank.
And now you've been joined by the 6 foot, no inch, Sean Edwards. Sean, a great victory.
Awesome, thanks to everyone, the whole team, all the drivers, the car, everyone just performed flawlessly and we got the victory. I think it's our first, everyone in the car's first overall victory in a 24-hour race, so amazing stuff.
And the third driver who's not actually in the car, Thomas, how do you feel?
It's amazing, yeah, unbelievable. We showed that the SLS AMG GT3 is a very reliable and fast car. We have 3 cars on the podium, so it's a big success for AMG and also for us as a team, for Black Falcon. So we are really happy, and thank you to the team.
So a remarkable sweep of the overall podium for Mercedes-Benz, with Black Falcon taking the top step. Heiko Motorsport filling the other 2 positions, and Bernd Schneider managing to have a foot on 2 steps as he drove both cars. Last year's champion, the BMW of Saudi Falcons, just falling short in the closing moments.
Being on the podium is always perfect, and I'm very happy because it's 3 SLS, I think, on the podium, and this is the maximum you can achieve. And we are absolutely happy.
Now you drove both cars, so you've got to have 1 foot in each step, have you?
Yeah, I drove the car number 16 and number 6. I'm quite tired right now, but I will have a nice sleep tonight.
For me, with so much nationality, with so strong performance, I think one of the most strong performances we had over the 7 years, and we had some good ones. So it's really exciting. I'm a happy man.
It wasn't easy. We were 7 seconds apart, the top 3 sometimes, and at the end, you know, everybody settled in his position, and that's how it ended. But otherwise, it was very, very tough, very close. Stressful, nerve-wracking, but we're happy to see it through and winning, because that's what we came to do, and thankfully it happened.
So the overall and A6 or GT3 class looking very successful, doesn't it, for Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Porsche and Lamborghini filling up the whole of the top 10. However, the beauty of such a race as the 24 Hours of Dubai is that there are classes to talk about. Car World taking the honours in the 997 class. In SP3, the Ginetta of Optimum Motorsport came through in the last third of the race to beat the Black Falcon team BMW. In A2, the Bezaplast Mini recovering from problems during the night to beat the Honda Integra of lap 57. And Lars Morash Racing Team and the Megane Trophy beating the VDS Racing Adventures Mustang GT3. But a creditable 3rd place for the gamers of RGN Motorsport and Nissan's GT Academy in 3rd place. And in A5, the 2 BMWs. Congratulations to all the competitors and to organisers Creventic for delivering another fabulous event. Come and join us in 2013. But we'll remember the Dunlop Dubai 24 Hours of 2012 for action from start to finish.